Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special Baywatching special thing. I'm here with a few guests. We're going to be talking about an episode of Baywatch. I'm here with Jay and Steve from OSW Reviews.
Oh, yeah.
What's the crack, everyone?
What is happening? Yes, the knee-bumping, bar-munching, crisp-crunching OSW review. We're just going to hot dog, right?
Absolutely.
Apologize in advance.
You're going to hate us, I'd say, within the next hour or so.
You're like, who are these guys? Get out of here. I just want to hear about Baywatch, all the classy stuff.
First thumbs down this video. Hate it.
Everyone knows who Phelan is. Phelan is.
I'm the not special guest.
Not special guest. But for those who don't know who you guys are, can you explain what OSW video podcasts are?
Well, hello, and welcome to this portion of OSW Review, the old school wrestling video podcast, which is filmed in glorious grapple vision and encoded in blast processing. We chronologically critique wrestling storylines, pay-per-view by pay-per-view. And today we have my co-host, my boy, V1.
What's the crack?
And myself, Jay Hunter. We just hot dog for about 90 minutes to 2 hours about wrestling shows that nobody cares about.
And we talk about things that Irish people cared about 30 years ago.
Mostly chocolate bars, yeah. So you'll learn things, but like it won't be things worth knowing.
Perhaps there is no moral to this story.
Exactly. It's just a bunch of stuff that happened.
You guys got the wrestling knowledge. I got the Baywatch knowledge. Phelan has also got the wrestling knowledge and some of the Baywatch knowledge. So I think we're all going to have a lot of things to say about this. This was, of course, the Bash at the Beach crossover episode. The episode in itself was a crossover because it was meant to promote an actual pay-per-view that they did.
Yeah, so the air date of this Baywatch episode is 19 February 1996, whilst the Bash at the Beach corresponding pay-per-view was July 95. So,
So
Baywatch
it was like
got
a year ahead?
rub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they filmed it about 8-9 months in advance.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Baywatch got a plug. WCW kind of got the short end of the stick with that one.
Vader wasn't even still in WCW by the time this episode aired, right?
Yeah, he was in
my
WWF
God.
already, so...
Yeah.
But what they did, it was genius. They just kept the same storylines for the next year to keep everything in sync. So it's still Ric Flair in the Dungeon of Doom. Versus
Yeah.
Hogan
People would
and
have been
Savage.
confused otherwise.
Ric Flair, the developer. It's his best character.
It was good stuff. Yeah, the Dungeon of Doom stuff, I know only a little bit about. I know about the whole, like, yes, no.
It's Zodiac! Isn't it, Brain?
Yes.
No!
I mean, no. Yes.
The Yeti!
And the Yeti!
And all this bizarre stuff that they had with the Dungeon of Doom. How long did they have that storyline going?
Taskmaster! I held your whole army at bay. Let them feel the power of Hulkamania. You'll feel the power, your most powerful possession. Bring the giant to me. I fought giants before. Your most powerful warrior. Only Hulkamania will live forever, Taskmaster. You don't understand.
Holy shit. Like, this is prime time where, because, like, Hogan came in, actually, I should just do a thing on it. I'll give you a thing. So, what was going on in WCW at the time? Hulk Hogan, biggest star of all time in the 80s and early 90s. He left the WWF full-time after Mania 8 in 1992 and said, I'm going to Hollywood.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents.
And then Hollywood said, please don't,
I've seen your movies, Hulk.
So he dipped back in to WWF and for WrestleMania 9, King of the Ring 93, and then he kind of left for good. He tried acting full-time. He joined WCW in June 94.
Thousands of them here at Disney MGM Studios as Hulk Hogan makes his way for the official signing of his contract with WCW. History is being made right before your very eyes.
This is the granddaddy of all. This is the mother of all wars right here.
This is the greatest day that professional wrestling has ever seen.
Jimmy Hart, Mr. T.
The Hulk Stars in the ring! This is definitely the greatest day of my life, baby!
High five, Shaquille O'Neal. It's got to be the greatest day in Hulk Hogan's wrestling career. Please, no, the leg drop. Oh, no, please don't do anything. 1, 2. It's for real. Hulkamania lives in World Championship Wrestling.
And then he immediately began feuding with Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. So by 95, when this was taped, the baddies had all kind of joined together. They'd enlisted the Taskmaster and his Dungeon of Doom in an alliance to end Hulkamania. Like, it didn't work out great. If you're wondering where was Hulk Hogan in his film career, because, you know, that's a big thing. Sadly, shockingly, already on the downslope, or the upslope if you review bad movies, you know. So he had Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny whilst he was still in the WWF, and then he done Thunder in Paradise, the direct-to-video, and it's kind of one-season TV show that had already been canned. So yeah, what's he got waiting for him? Santa with Muscles in 96, and the peak, Three Ninjas in 98.
Oh, man.
Living the high life.
Both very good movies. Thunder in Paradise is related to Baywatch. It was from the creators of Baywatch, and you can tell it's like Baywatch meets Knight Rider meets a lot of racism.
But this is perfect for Hogan.
Sounds amazing for him, yeah.
There is an episode, I shit you not, where they join some Civil War reenactors, and the twist is that one of the guys, played by Jeff Altman, who is horrible, is he's cosplaying as someone from the South, and he just wants them to win just once, and Hulk Hogan helps him to accomplish that. So the big inspirational moment of that episode is that the South wins.
Yay! Slaves for all!
Are imitating life there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to believe what later came out about Mr. Hogan. Have you guys seen, I don't know if you've reviewed this at any point, have you seen the Bash at the Beach that corresponded with this?
Oh, the pay-per-view we haven't reviewed, but I was actually saving this because I knew we do the Baywatch episode, so we actually kind of held off on that completely. But we have done the Dungeon of Doom storyline when this was happening, when they're getting their alliance to end Hulkamania. So this is the time where the Taskmaster, he dress up as a woman with a cane and hit Hulk Hogan.
Very popular. Oh, what is this? There's a woman with a cane.
And Ric Flair, he dress up as a woman and ambush Hulk Hogan.
There's a theme going on here, isn't there?
All right, well, do you guys want to just dive into the episode and go piece by piece?
Let's do it to it.
Grammar, that is.
We are watching the Amazon rip, and you guys watching the, is it the German DVD or which?
Yeah.
Yeah, from the German DVDs, which has the original music and the beautiful SD footage.
Yeah, the große Spielkind. Yeah. I have to say, like, HD widescreen Baywatch looks incredible.
It looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
For a show that's, 25 years old? It looks fabulous.
Yeah, it's 30 at this point.
30? Oh my goodness.
Like, the clarity, you could see how cold it is for these lifeguards.
Oh my god.
What do you know? I did get to heaven.
2 seconds into this Baywatch episode, they give you no lead-in. Just Hulk Hogan, Macho Man are on Wave Runner TMs. They got some bad ADR.
Holy shit.
Hey, Macho, race you to the pier, brother. Let's do it, brother. Macho the Macho Man. You're gonna beat me in your dreams, and that's all. Hey, dude, you cut me off. To the
That's all the intro we need. They're just having an extended conversation on Wave Runners.
I do like that they credit some of the wrestlers with their gimmick names. It's like the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, does he go by that full thing, or is it just Kevin Sullivan or the Taskmaster?
Well, he's got like the Taskmaster makeup on, so, or like, you know, the little black stuff above his eyes.
It's brilliant.
The lines between reality and kayfabe are just blurred together.
Oh my god, they're absolutely shattered. So basically, in this Baywatch universe, WCW is there but it's real. It's like,
Yeah.
In the kayfabe world, kayfabe is shoot, Steve.
yes. So like 15 seconds into this show, I was just going, yes, you have me, Baywatch. Congratulations.
Just one thing. Okay, so the lads Hogan and Macho are on jet skis and they're racing, and it's like, oh my god, Hogan did the job. He lost.
The only thing he will job to is a wave and a jet ski.
Like, he wins at wrestling, he wins at sumo monster trucks, but there you go, he loses to jet ski racing.
Amazing.
Well, he loses because he was distracted by a hot lady, and that's really the only thing that can
only
bring about
reason.
his downfall.
Do you see he kind of fakes drowning as well so he can get CPR from Pamela Anderson?
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Filthy fecker.
Yeah.
I love that, like, everyone can hear each other at normal volume on these jet skis.
Yeah.
They're just talking to each other at normal volume. Even the lady is like, hey, Hulkster, you sure looking good.
Hey, Hulkster, you're sure looking good.
Voiceover seamless.
Oh, they're so bad.
Especially on Macho Man. Like, it wasn't matching his mouth at all.
No.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. This is unbelievable.
I feel like Hogan wipes out and Macho Man just goes for a cruise. He doesn't care.
He takes forever to get to shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to win the race
I mean,
first, you know? He
Yeah.
hates Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. It's like, oh, I hope Hogan's drowning.
So while this is going on, Caroline is watching from the tower. I'm sure you guys had a great time following which character was which. I'm assuming this is your first time watching Baywatch.
Yeah. Yasmine here, yes.
Outside Baywatching, yeah.
Pamela also.
Caroline is watching from her tower. She knows that a rescue's imminent. Hogan hits a wave and he totally biffs it. His Wave Runner TM turns against him, knocks him out, so he has to be rescued by Caroline, CJ, and Julie, who's this rando lifeguard who's only here for this episode, played by Playboy Playmate Naraya Davis. And there's 3 other nameless lifeguards, all women, all models, so they can lug his giant ass to shore and resuscitate him.
This must have been
Awesome.
traumatizing for Hogan, because this is how he said he got his black eye, like at the beginning of Thunder in Paradise in WrestleMania 9, right?
What did he say? It was a jet ski accident?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, the other thing was like, did Macho punch you in the face? Yeah, because he didn't want to put bread over you.
Yeah.
They wrote it into Thunder in Paradise, and it was Jim Neidhart punched him in the face
Yeah.
after they had an arm wrestling match.
Yeah.
This all sounds amazing.
Or terrible.
Baywatch,
Little bit of
Thunder
both.
in Paradise in the same universe.
Yeah.
I wish it was in the same universe. I guess if you think that they exist in the same universe, and they could, then there is canonically 2 Hulk Hogans and 3 Jimmy Harts, because in Baywatch there are 2 of them.
Oh my goodness. This
I can see
sounds
that. Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
This Julie character confuses me.
Yeah.
In this episode. She's not in any other Baywatch episodes. She's not even in the pay-per-view. I thought maybe she was there as like to bridge the gap between the 2 things, but she's not. They just act like she was always a thing.
I had no idea who she is.
Yeah, I take it this is the blonde girl with the big boobs.
Yeah,
Wait,
the one who
which
goes,
one?
Yes.
it's Hulk Hogan.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
She is the other closet wrestling fan who is not Pamela Anderson.
What, you guys wrestling fans? Closet. Me too.
closeted wrestling fan. I love how in an episode where they have WCW wrestlers on, they still won't say that they're actual wrestling fans. I just watch it when no one else knows I'm watching it.
Yeah, that was kind of sad.
My favorite part is that David Hasselhoff is actively avoiding that plot, so he will not show up in the wrestling stuff, like he's embarrassed of it.
The cheek. That's right. Or maybe you couldn't have him and Hogan on screen at the same time.
Yeah, they'd have a never-ending brag off.
I feel like some of the dumbest Baywatch plots, and there's a lot of dumb ones, but the ones like this, or like the Gilligan's Island one, or the Charlie's Angels one, David Hasselhoff seemed embarrassed of them because he's not in those plots. He'll show up in like little bits around them, but not actually part of it.
That's really funny because, like, you know, maybe about 10 years later, David Hasselhoff turned into a parody of Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, fellas, this is where you get off. Bikini bottoms directly below. All hands on deck.
10 seconds to lift off.
Like he just hadn't quite gotten there yet.
He was taking himself too seriously.
Exactly.
He's like, I cannot be part of this Dungeon of Dune storyline. We got to add something to ground this.
This is the line that I won't
Yeah.
cross. Unbelievable.
He's like, I'll have you know that I am the reason that the Berlin Wall came down.
You know what? David Hasselhoff, fearless. If you watch that footage, like a Roman candle goes flying 2 inches from his face, does not react.
Brilliant.
He keeps singing because he's got to tear this wall down.
Kayfabe.
I love it.
Julie says, "Oh my God, it's Hulk Hogan." As if she just now noticed after they spend this time lugging him to shore, resuscitating him, did not recognize very distinctive Hulk Hogan.
Maybe she was a WWF fan and like he's like 70 pounds lighter. Yeah. You know? She doesn't watch WCW. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
She's like, I'm not in it for these sellouts. They have a panning shot of all the women as Hulk Hogan is staring at them, and he says, "What do you know? I did get to heaven." Terrible. He's such a creep in this episode.
Really is.
He's a filthy man in this. Yeah.
Yeah, he creeps over them. They giggle like, "Hee, I love this." He plays off his head injury like, "Oh, this happens all the time."
Yeah, he says he gets harder than that in the ring, which would kind of contradict his book where he said like, "Oh, I wish Macho punched me because that jet ski, that was way harder."
Unbelievable.
Head injuries. Hilarious.
It's so funny. He's just going to walk that one off. It's fine. Cut to Stephanie, some celery and some carrots. She's getting ready for a romantic picnic with her doctor boyfriend, Tom, at lifeguard headquarters for some reason. Mitch and his socks come downstairs. Talks about how Tom is his old friend, one of the rare ones that doesn't blow up.
Yeah, I was thinking he better watch out. Death looming over him.
We know that he has a terrible fate coming up with Stephanie. So
Yeah.
So I did watch this show when I was younger. Would I be right in saying that Mitch and Stephanie did go out for a while? And so
they did.
And so he's a bit weird that his like mate is now dating her. He's like jealous, right?
He's jealous, but he does that with everyone because he's an asshole.
Okay, he's just a cunt. Okay.
Yeah. He and Hogan would get along well, I think.
Is this because he's like 20 years older than the rest of the cast? Like,
Yes, probably.
But he's always shirtless.
Yeah.
Because everyone else has like a 6-pack or an 8-pack, or, in great beach body shape, and he's, a 50-year-old man.
He looks pretty good, to be fair.
It didn't start out that way. In the 80s, everyone was allowed to not have these like 6-packs going on. The body type changed as the show went. See, this is season 6 by the time
the 90s.
we're into it. Hasselhoff is one of the few people left over from those days, and I don't know. They just have this way of writing Mitch Buchanan as this incredibly petty character who is very like up his own ass. It's incredible. So the Stephanie storyline, you will notice, meshes very well with everything else in this episode. Stephanie is on her romantic picnic with Tom, posing on the beach. They are interrupted when he is paged because he is a doctor. He cannot rest.
But then she keeps hitting on him after he gets paged.
Well, I think I'm having a medical emergency right now. It's my heart. It's beating dangerously fast.
Well, someone's dying,
Never mind that patient, Stephanie.
Well, it's not really her heart, it's her leg, because she has a suspicious mole that might be Emmy cancer.
Get storyline whiplash from this episode.
Yeah. This is a completely serious cancer storyline that they have paired up with this wrestling thing. It's such whiplash.
it's very jarring. You know, you're like going from this crazy fake world of big, loud, bald men screaming at each other. And then 30 seconds later, you're like talking about a young lady who could possibly pass away from something very serious. Like you said, it's very, very jarring.
Yeah. She's got this nasty new mole. It's like raised, it's bleeding a little. Like it actually does look like nodular melanoma. It's not the most common, but develops kind of fast and down the skin. So it's like, actually, that's right. Well done, Baywatch. And Dr. Tom is like worried that it's skin cancer. And her storyline is just a way to shoehorn in a PSA about tanning, that sunscreen isn't safe, and go around wagging your finger at various beach patrons.
You girls are getting sunburned, so you should either cover up or put on a stronger sunscreen. Because the burns you get today, they'll increase your risk of skin cancer when you get older. Baby oil offers absolutely no protection against the sun. This is just a sun magnifier, you know. You should be using sunblock if you don't want to get burned. Be sure to put on enough sunblock on your baby, okay, and on yourself also. Are you using sunblock? Do you have sunscreen on? Sunblock? Do you have sunblock on? Don't forget to use sunblock, okay?
They keep dropping in all of these like bullet point things you need to say about like sunscreen and what things work and what things don't. Very, very clunky how they insert this in here.
Mm-hmm. It's weird, like, because she goes around to different beach patrons and says, hey, you're wearing sun magnifier, that doesn't work, or you're not wearing it. But she doesn't like bring suntan lotion with her, or, you know, any SPF 50 or whatever.
I'll have you know, that costs money. Giving out to someone is free.
I feel like this was also some more product placement going on, because they have some very suspiciously placed suntan lotion throughout a lot of this episode. Like they have hidden Deborah Schwartz, the lady on the beach that's hanging out with her son and says, Mommy, I just saw Hulk Hogan.
Mommy, I just saw Hulk Hogan.
Matthew, what have I told you about making up stories?
But Mom.
Can it, Matthew?
Deborah Schwartz being the one of the producer's wives. She's sitting there with like a sunscreen right next to her with the label up, just so you can see it.
Good work. I missed all of that. Well, that was actually
we don't get this sun in Ireland.
Yeah, what's the sun that you talk of?
Well, if you ever do get some sun, you'll know baby oil doesn't work, provides no protection from the sun.
It's really good for like wrestler hair, though.
I was just about to say that.
Like Bret Hart.
Do they use it in their hair?
Oh yeah, they lacquered themselves up good going out with baby oil.
Splicey. Can we do that on someone else's show? Can we spicy?
Do you remember what happened last year at King of the Ring, or have you got so much oil on your head it slipped your mind?
Can't believe you're saying that.
Bret Hart's a demon for it. Like, he's dripping wet with baby oil, his hair. And it's glorious. It's like, this is his championship run whenever he gets the belt. It's like, right, 30% more oil in the head.
So after this cancer reveal, CJ is just minding her own business outside when Hogan shows up to creep on her.
Oh, is this
very
Blue
creepy.
Hogan, is it?
Yeah, very creepy.
Yeah, with
man.
his blue boots are like to those.
It's weird seeing Hogan in blue. He did blue and
he was Rip in
No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred, and he wore blue and white also. Yeah.
Him and CJ have a talk together. She asks how his head is. He says, well, it's a lot better than the ski. It was totaled when it hit me. Just kidding.
Jesus
no
Christ.
selling the jet ski.
Yeah, before he said that, I was like, wait, is he being serious? Because they could just say that.
He probably wanted it to be serious.
But they're like, look, this is an educational show. We gotta let people know about the realities of jet ski accidents. Hogan is not just there to stroke his own ego. He's also heard that the Baywatch lifeguards have been doing a lot of work with the Venice Boys Youth Center, which he fictionally went to all the time growing up.
Him and Macho.
I love it.
This also sounds dodgy to me.
The boys' center. How would help him get off the streets and get his act together.
It's hilarious. It's like, yeah, brother, if it wasn't for this gym, I'd have been on the streets and I'd have been on the drugs, brother.
If it wasn't for Sonny and the athletic club, I probably would have been wild out on the streets. I had a choice. Drugs and the street life, or getting healthy, working out, and getting my act together right here.
Wait, you're on the drugs now.
You've never stopped being on the drugs, Hulk.
was taught all of this by his mentor, Sonny, along with his good childhood friend, Macho Man. Was this ever part of his kayfabe backstory? I know the Venice thing was, Venice Beach, but did they ever say that they grew up together or any
Childhood
of this?
friend?
No,
absolutely not.
Is Sonny, is that not that old guy who he just repeats the storyline to?
With the
Yes.
diddler
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The what man?
The diddler man.
The diddler man.
Yeah. He looks like a diddler.
He could be their taskmaster, I think.
Maybe that explains some things about how Hogan and Macho Man turned out. Their mentor, the diddler.
It's all coming out on this episode of Baywatching.
Brother, I gotta talk to you about something really serious.
I'm gonna go away for a few years.
Turns into that like Different Strokes episode where they learn about the child molester.
Oh my God.
No.
We're starting a special two-part show on a very sensitive and important subject. We urge families to discuss the problem presented, which is of deep concern to all of us.
Alleged. This is an alleged podcast. Alleged. Everything is alleged here. There we go. We're illegally free now.
Yeah, we don't want to besmirch Hulk Hogan and Macho Man's childhood mentor, Sonny, who they really knew in real life. He was a real person.
If they don't get an Emmy for the cancer, they'll get it for this.
Yeah, did they... See, we have a nickname for these things in Baywatching, Emmy Cancer, because anytime they were desperately trying to get an Emmy, they would throw in the big C.
Oh,
They were
okay.
the longest running show to never even be nominated for an Emmy up until like the early 2000s.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit later.
Because, like, wasn't this show at some point the most watched show in the entire world?
It was, yeah.
94 sounds really
Yeah, it
big,
was like
yeah.
watched by like 1 billion people every week or something crazy like that.
And it was because of Hogan. It was the rub.
It was, yes. It was weird that it was the most watched show in the world, and yet, like, most people could not tell you what happened in Baywatch other than, like, slow motion running.
He's quite a bit.
Because a lot of stuff happened.
It seems to be like a way that you could kind of gawk at pretty girls on TV during the daytime. That seems to be the general thrust of it. Like that's
Yes.
it. Oh, bit of side boob.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, at 3 p.m.
She's jogging.
There you you know, a lot of that. It's weird.
That was definitely a big part of it. But they desperately wanted some legitimacy with an Emmy, and I don't know if they thought this episode was gonna get them one.
How delusional did they have to be to think throwing cancer in the wrestling episode would work? Like,
I don't know. Maybe they thought that would like lure people in, like wrestling fans were tuning in, and they're like, "Oh, I'm really invested in this cancer storyline. I want to see what happens."
the jarring
You got
inserts
me.
of this.
Oh yeah, totally. You know, because like you have these fans who love to watch, you know, big muscly tanned men fake fighting. I know how to get them to come back. Cancer. Jesus Christ.
Whoa, you see the cancer storyline, bro? Yeah, I saw the cancer storyline, bro.
Kick out from cancer.
So we're hanging and banging public workout, brother. This is like when John Morrison played a shirtless parkouring bounty hunter.
Devin Sorbo, you just got booned. America, you're welcome.
Hogan was born to act in this gig. He's just pumping iron. That's it.
This is his gimmick.
He looks realistic doing it. No acting there. And they repeat the storyline with, is this Sonny, the owl lad? Who's, I guess the
Yeah.
yeah, real diddly vibe.
I
off this
told
guy.
you he was a diddly.
Just to make sure everyone's on board. And then who's that riding in a limo on the beach? Holy shit. It's like they open the door and just, Kevin Sullivan walks out and then he starts acting. He's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh my God, Ric Flair, the man they call Vader. And just Nate starts cutting a promo. It's like, hey, Macho Man, last time I saw your face, it was under my shoe. Oh.
Hey, Macho Man, Last time I saw your face, man, it was under my shoe.
And he's flipping out. He's like, oh, the consortium was me. I own the gym. I gotta tear it down. I tear it in the condos. Oh, fuck. This is like, it's unearthing a Ric Flair promo that you've never seen before. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. And it's just the most gift part of it is Vader comes there. He's trying to intimidate him. So he gets a basketball and all the soot comes in.
He steals it from a child at the rec center. I feel that's important to note.
What a heel.
Your head, Batista, well, it won't be much different than this basketball.
That's a nice trick, but here's the problem with that. Basketballs don't hold grudges.
I love that they're like, who is this mysterious developer who has bought it? And then the limo shows up. And then they come out, and Kevin Sullivan's the first one to come out with his, like, face paint. Like, they just walk around like this.
I was done.
Suit, face paint, yes.
Yeah, and then Vader with his, like, mask on. Like, this is just what they do.
It was incredible. I lost my shit watching this. I was like, this is what I want from my TV shows. You can keep your Breaking Bads and your Lost and everything else. Give me 3 ugly men getting out of a limo posing, and you have my dollars.
Do you think they're like Superman, where they're in suits, but underneath is the wrestling attire, for when it breaks out?
Oh, absolutely.
They are. Yes,
Nice.
they are. The acting chops here were it blew me away. I do have a question, right? So, Ric Flair has bought the lease to this land from under Diddler Man, Sonny. And
yes.
But I thought that in order to buy something, Sonny would have had to have sell it. Like, can you just buy land out from underneath someone?
I mean, I'm not sure if he...
Maybe he defaulted
It's possible
on it,
he still owed money on it, like with the bank, or...
That's very true.
Yeah, so, I mean, and I'm not sure... Sonny did definitely own it, right? He didn't just, like, work there?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, we may just be overthinking Baywatch CrossFit World Championship Wrestling. There is a chance.
It still costs money to, like, run things, so it's possible that, like, they didn't have that Hogan star shining over it anymore, so they were kind of going into destitution there, and that's when Ric Flair swooped in, because he knew how important it was to Hogan and Macho Man.
They haven't had crowds like that watching people work out for a while.
There were so many kids there that were not kids. There were like bodybuilders and all. I'm like, oh, look at those poor underprivileged
22-year-olds.
Yeah.
For some reason, Pamela Anderson is helping some guy in the background work out by just like holding his arm while he's like lifting. Like that's doing anything.
Oh, it's a Magna lift. See, you lift and then you put your hand, it goes Magna.
Yeah.
Oh man, so they set up a double main event, aka no main event. Hogan versus Vader and Flair versus Savage. So it's Hogan's world title belt versus the gym, but you must win both matches or the deal's off completely. So I quite like that. It makes you think, the heels could win one match then.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's a deal made for Flair, like he just has to fluke win one match.
It's Vader time that's gonna rip your head off.
I was hoping I'd have to have a match where I had to keep my eyes open, Vader.
It was weird. There's like obvious hard edits they made to trim down the wrestlers' promos. And like in kayfabe, I don't like how Hogan dismissed Vader as a threat. He just says, I was hoping to keep my eyes open. I was like, oh, fuck you. This is a main event, mate. This is main event of Baywatch. And it's like, I don't care about Vader. I gotta smash him. Doesn't matter.
Well, because he thinks what Kevin Sullivan was thinking after they walk away at the rec center. He's like, I don't know about this Flair, because Hogan's too agile for him. He'll get away. And he's like, no, I have my secret plan. It's really going to be a cage match, but he's not going to know about it. And I'm like, ha ha ha. And they laugh about their dastardly plan.
They cackle.
Come on, let's go.
Before cutting back to the cancer plot, like that didn't just happen.
It's weird because when they first start talking, it sounds like it's going to be Hogan versus Flair, which would probably make more sense for this story.
Yeah,
that was kind of underwhelming, huh?
Yeah, it's just like, well, that's not what's happening in the actual pay-per-view, so we have to awkwardly change it to Hogan Vader.
Yeah, yes, it's very, very weird choice. Comes out of nowhere. Because obviously, your like top babyface is Hulk Hogan, your top heel is Flair, and you would think that they're going to build up to that match, but it's like, no, we're just not going to give it to you. So
See, it's like,
go fuck yourself.
When Hogan joined in 94, they went straight into Hogan Flair, and they do it for the next kind of 2 years. So
And it was burnt out.
Yeah, so we'll do Flair and Macho now, and then Hogan plus one of Sullivan's goons kind of thing.
Needs more shark.
Shark attack. And Ed Leslie. Where's Ed Leslie? I was promised an Ed Leslie payday.
I was shocked that he wasn't.
I was mildly angered.
Yeah, well, you'd see plenty of him in Thunder in Paradise.
Oh,
He's
really?
definitely there to prop up Hulk Hogan.
Love it.
I think we're forgetting about a very important scene before any of this goes down, where some children are hanging out on the Rocks of Doom. And one of the producer's sons, Corey Schwartz, he falls off of the rocks, and a very fake boulder falls on his leg. So Hulk Hogan and Pamela Anderson must rescue him.
It's obviously a different color than every other rock around there.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
It is not only a different color, but when the child puts his weight on it, you can see that the rock bellies under his fucking weight.
Oh, yeah.
This 60-pound child.
This, like, blow-up rock.
Yeah.
I loved this.
See, Hogan needs to know which one he has to move, you see. So which one can he pick up? But he did a good job of selling the weight.
He actually did sell
much
it
better
really
than
well.
Sting in Last Rites with the tombstone.
Yes, definitely.
Of course he'd be able to lift the boulder. He's Terry Boulder.
Terry the Hulk Boulder with a bear hug on the outlaw.
Right after this show of tremendous strength, we get another cancer scene. There's so many of these weaved in that are just either wastes of time or more of the same. But so she gets her test results back from this biopsy. She definitely has Emmy cancer. She's pretty sad about that. But anyway, here's a montage of Hogan and company going to the rec center set to American Made.
Oh, shit!
But you guys watching the HD version didn't have that.
I knew it was American Made. All right, okay. Because we're watching the Amazon version, and it's like, oh, he's tougher than tough. He's got the right stuff. And it's like, hang on, you're not Buck Bagwell.
Because he's tougher than tough. You know he's got the right stuff.
This like song was great, and I'm like, this is a South Park song if I've ever seen one. It just has that like, America is so strong. Look at his 10. He uses factor 10.
I love on the HD, it's like a rip-off of his rip-off theme.
Yeah.
That's incredible. They didn't want to give Jimmy Hart any money.
No.
Unbelievable. They wouldn't spring for it.
Jimmy Hart in this episode. Damn it. Didn't give me that in the royalties. This montage was so great. You got the kids, you got the flags, you got the random backflips, you got the slow-mo high fives. Everyone cheers for no reason because they made it to the rec center. Yeah!
Yeah, I love the American flags just for him running around.
Everyone just happened to have those.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He's more than strong enough.
We get another scene of Stephanie and Mitch talking about cancer, but they also recap some insane stuff that I don't know how this sounded to you guys. I've seen the episode, but when they start talking about, hey, you remember that cruise we were on where you were shot and then we were stranded at sea and then we fought a shark? Oh, fun times.
Yeah. It's humble bragging about fighting off all those sharks. Pretty good.
So there's actually a lot of differences between the HD widescreen remaster that they have on Amazon and the original version and also the DVD versions that you get in Germany. Just want to hot dog Allison's video of Baywatch HD, a beautiful mess. It's an excellent recap of all the changes in there. Go watch it.
Oh, thank you.
You were saying there's an episode with Little Richard in it, and they don't even paste new music over it. They just cut the scene entirely. So it's just, hey, I'm in a cabana, and then so and the show, an hour-long show, is 30 minutes long.
Wow,
insane.
Hey, Maurice.
Can I ask you about this cancer storyline? Dr. Tom here, has he been in the show much?
He's in a few episodes. I believe this is the first episode they aired with him in it, but they air one later where she is introduced to him. So clearly it was meant to air earlier. And he is also around during Stephanie's final episode.
Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at him and it's like, you're not a doctor. No chance.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Handsome.
The mullet, the gormless expression on his face, but he does have a beeper, so yeah.
The bum, sorted.
Yeah. Lies. I don't believe he's not. It's like if RVD walked in, hey, I'm a doctor.
Wouldn't it have been better if they were they tied these storylines together and Hogan's like, oh, my good pal Stephanie has cancer. We gotta wrestle at the main event to kick the cancer's ass.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't job to cancer, brother. That would have, I think, made it less jarring.
Yeah, I think so.
The WCW Heavyweight Champion of the World, Hulk Hogan!
And it's time for your main event.
The main event.
It's your main event.
The Slim Jim sponsored Bash at the Beach.
Oh,
there was so much Slim Jim product
everywhere.
placement all around.
Always like to keep my favorite snack handy. Need a little excitement? Step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
So we don't have those over here.
Slim Jims.
Yeah, so I tasted a Slim Jim for the first time when I went to Orlando in 2017, and they're fucking disgusting. My body was not ready for it. They're so waxy.
Yeah, it's different than other jerky. It definitely has its own sort of flavor and texture.
Okay, so you can really taste the snout, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
As Slim Jim presents WCW's Bash at the Beach.
Brought to you by Slim Jim. Step into it. I'll be stepping into some payback from the Nature Boy. Oh, yeah.
WCW Bash at the Beach. Sponsored by Slim Jim. Snap into it.
I couldn't believe. Pamela Anderson's the special guest ring announcer for Baywatch's Bash at the Beach. She bloody gets around. She was at WrestleMania 11 in '95 as well.
Yep.
Sneak off.
So these are the actual promos from the pay-per-view that they were using, was it?
So not quite. Hogan and Macho and Vader and Flair did go on camera and cut promos, but they weren't with Pamela Anderson. She wasn't at the actual Bash at the Beach show.
Boo.
And just like the Baywatch girls, she broke down. We got all the beautiful babes of Baywatch to distract Vader, man. Yeah!
Please, Vader.
What time is it?
It's Vader time. And NBA superstar Dennis Rodman at Slim Jim's back.
In the wheel. Somebody must show this chump what time it is, man. Take it easy, big man.
Did she go to Space Mountain?
You know she did, baby. Rod the bod. Rodney, man, is the man. Slim Jim's Bash at the Beach. The whole world knows what time it is. Rod the bod. The WCW knows what time it is.
I jack-slapped your father because he got in my way.
It's gonna find out what time it is. Slim Jim's Bash at the Beach. You're gonna find out what Vader time is all about, brother.
If anything happens out there to Hogan, I'm certain with the presence of Dennis Rodman at the door, he'll rebound.
I don't think anyone from the episode was. I think they just had a bunch of random ladies in lifeguard outfits.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe one guy, but it's tough to say because they're all like, beefy guys with tans and blonde hair. So maybe it just could have been, some other guy.
If it was anyone, it had to be David Chokachi. I feel like he'd be the one guy who's like, yeah, get me in this.
Get my name out there, brah.
They kept cutting to him, like, doing, like, booing and stuff, like, in another dimension.
Yeah.
I love the, boo, you stink, man.
Yeah, that was really good.
So Savage and Flair had a lifeguard match at Bash at the Beach,
in which there were no lifeguards really there. They were kind of just at the barriers, whereas what they did was they had a lumberjack match with the members of the WCW roster came out wearing orange gear. It wasn't even red.
Yeah.
It was like orange shorts and orange and white tops.
Like they just got out of prison.
And they just had a lumberjack match. And it had nothing to do with lifeguards or the beach or Baywatch or anything. They just had a normal match. And it wasn't even that good.
Oh, man. And it was 14 minutes long.
It was so long. Oh, my God. I did not like watching it.
They kept acting like the lifeguards were going to help in the match in some way. And no one thought, like, why would you think that? Like, you and the Baywatch lifeguards are going to get us. And you're like, what? But they're not wrestling.
They did nothing.
Yeah.
Like, even have one go up to the ring and, like, throw in their little red lifesaver thing. And then Macho Man...
They gotta rescue him.
Could have picked up that and hit him over the head. And
can't sell that, Steve.
And he could have gotten the ring.
The inflatable, you can't sell that.
It's not inflatable. It's like...
No, they're hard.
Right?
They've done that on Baywatch itself. Like, people get hit in the head with lifeguard cans, get knocked out, yeah.
Okay.
Use them as weapons to fight beach bullies.
There you go. Book it.
I love
Book it. But yeah, so what they do during this match is they just have a very boring match.
This is the real fake match.
Yes.
It's so weird, though. They're using the real footage, but they're adding fake punch noises over it.
Yeah, that's so weird to see.
It's so weird. As a wrestling fan, and we're used to the sounds of wrestling, which is, like the ring and the boots and the fans, to like hear these like whoop, whoosh.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like it's wrong.
It's like those old westerns.
Mm-hmm.
When
yeah. Yeah, it's just so weird.
I did appreciate that as it was a boring match, they did edit it down quite a bit.
I like they take out the actual finish too, so it's just Savage does a top rope axe handle, and then it's just like, anyway, the match is over.
They didn't show the count, and they didn't show his actual finishing move, which actually took place about 15 seconds later. It was literally one more move, and they cut it out. It's very, very weird editing.
It's like SmackDown 1 and 2 on PlayStation. It's just like, knockout! The match is over.
I love it.
I didn't really understand how all of the cameras in the televised match and all that, how that coincides with this being a deal over, like, real estate. Like, they just set this up. Like, they're like, we're going to get this rec center back. But also, I'm going to call up the WCW so we can, like, have this, like, televised match over it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to make money out of it anyway, yeah.
Or did just coincidentally this was going on anyway?
Yeah.
Because the rec center is not the only thing at stake. They also have the WCW Heavyweight Championship belt.
I would imagine that WCW and like their top brass would have a massive problem with Hulk Hogan putting their world title on the line in a non-sanctioned match. That's gonna cause waves.
But you know what? It seems like something he would fucking do, though. Be like, oh, whatever.
Whatever, brother. Give me the rec center.
Y'all know I'm not giving it up anyway. Everyone was shocked when Vader won the match. Just kidding, it's Hogan.
That would be so amazing. Oh, it'd be brilliant. Oh, but Vader came out in his Ganondorf armor as well.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
From late 80s WCW in Japan. Oh my god, yeah, I love it.
It's really cool.
So cool. He didn't do it has a spoot on it, a spoot button that
And like fog comes out.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't gotten any cunt Hogans in here. And it
Really,
feels
Rob?
weird
What?
because you guys
Oh
are
my God.
talking about him.
Right away, Vader comes out. Hogan comes out. He climbs up the cage. They add in a terrible fake ripping sound as he rips his t-shirt. And ding, 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 cunt Hogan runs over and cheats, and he chokes Vader from behind with his t-shirt. That's not what a good guy does.
He Pearl Harbored him.
A good guy faces the bad guy face to face, overcomes, and beats him. What a dickhead.
He does a top rope axe handle and Andre WrestleMania 3 slam, but Hulk hurts his back, allowing Vader to get a 2-star frog splash.
Yeah.
From Brett's rope, and then into a rest hold choke. It's like, yeah. Hulk gets battered, but then just starts no-selling, and he starts hulking up, and that's it, mate. You're up shit creek. Throw Vader into the cage. Immortal leg drop. Hot dog. Shot of Dennis Rodman working the crowd.
Is he there?
Yeah, Dennis Rodman's there.
Holy shit, I didn't even notice.
It's weird because he's not acknowledged in Baywatch.
Rodman was there, and Hulk Hogan calls him, "Hey, this is my good pal, Rod the Bod. Rod the Bod is going to keep everyone out of this cage, so keep it fair, brother." It's incredible. Rod the Bod.
Dennis Rodman's got the Zodiac! Dennis Rodman got a chair! Well, he can do a little more than rebound, I guess. Let's go, baby! He kept him away. And now, the total package, the king of Hulkamania and living legend of wrestling.
They don't even show like the leg drop on Baywatch, though. It's just the boot to the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't show the pin.
Andre slam, big boot, and no
Yeah.
pin, but that's the win, sir.
It's so bad.
Main event, 2 minutes, 24 seconds.
Whereas the actual main event went on for so long.
13:23. Yeah.
It was so fucking boring.
Steve, how did you enjoy it? The real fake match.
The actual match.
From the pay-per-view, yeah.
Oh my God. So we've been talking about wanting to go back and do more WCW arcs. And after watching this, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back to WCW because their two main events sucked. They were so bad. They were like paint by numbers matches. There was no real heat. And I don't want to watch Hogan just do his Hogan match every
But
single
it has
time.
stuff like Andre's shirt. Like
Remember this, Hogan?
This is his dad's shirt.
Hulkamania rules. We did it for the kids, for the youth center. What you gonna do? Woo!
As Hulk Hogan did it, he saved the boys club, and Macho snatches the deed from Flair's grasp and gives it to Hogan so he can give it to Sonny. That's very odd. It would be amazing if Mach, he snatched off the deed and just signed it himself.
I don't know how legal this is, but guess it works.
No, he has to give them the deed. They
Yeah.
had a verbal agreement that this was what it's going to be.
Yeah, at least Ric Flair was up front. He's like, well, I lost. Here's the deed.
I like that Hogan had to remind everyone what this was for by the end. He goes, Hulkamania rules! We did it for the kids! For the youth center! What you gonna do?
He's all about kids and charity, right?
Yay! He repeats this at least twice.
Yes.
While also stroking his own ego about how Hulkamania rules.
Hulkamania rules. We did it for the kids, for the youth center. We did it for the kids. Hulkamania rules.
They all celebrate on the beach, and then they end on a cancer note where Stephanie cries.
You're too happy.
The cancer spread.
The ending was too happy. Let's take everyone down several notches.
Way down.
For fuck's sake, Baywatch.
Wouldn't it be hilarious though if they did lose it? That way they just had a downer ending with the wrestling portion as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just like a double downer. It's like the kids lose their gym and they're all gonna go on drugs and be homeless. And then your one has cancer.
Yeah.
See you next week, folks.
How did this hold up for you guys as your first, at least since you were younger, Baywatch episode?
It's weird. It's like this was terrible. Like the acting is bad. It's cheesy. They like do this thing where they play this like really cheap music in the background during the like meaningful moments, and for me, it takes me out of the scenes completely. Yeah, so, acting is ropey, the writing is bad, some of the props are, like, cheap. However, I loved this. This episode for me went full circle. It's so bad that I just absolutely adored it. I had a blast watching this, yeah. Thank you.
A blast at the beach.
A blast at the beach. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, same for me, actually. Like, I have to say, the WCW characters, they're very cartoonish, and seeing them in the Baywatch, which is very, not quite reality, because it's overly melodramatic, it slots in so well. I love Ric Flair. Like, I imagine everyone, like, watching it can't take him seriously, but just him hot dogging, he gets 2 promos in there. He was just saying at Bash at the Beach, we'll get rid of Hogan and Macho's red, as yellow's more their colour. It's like, yes! Yeah! Do it! And the Taskmaster, why were you dressed to wrestle? You're the only one not wrestling, mate.
Yeah.
Very
He's
dodgy.
just there for moral support, and he always dresses like that.
Macho, lazy cut. He was like, I don't think he was much into his baggie of coke at this stage. Because he was like, what's your plan, Macho? I had no plan.
Cody, my plan is no plan.
My plan is no plan. That's, right, well done. Anyway, no, fantastic, brilliant. I love it. It was terrible, and obviously there's no legitimate redeemable features, but that's what makes it amazing as well.
As a wrestling thing, was it entertaining?
I was really sad that we didn't get to see much wrestling in it. It was hyper edited as well. Like the promos were edited. It was weird. They cut out. It's like they cut 10-minute promos and you cut them down to 45 seconds. And whenever they breathe in, they change the camera angle. And it's very noticeable and jarring. But man, here having a look at HD widescreen filmed wrestling from the 90s. Awesome. Slim Jim, snap into it. I could do it less cancer next time though.
Yeah.
Phelan, I know you've seen this episode before, but what are your thoughts on this the second, third, fourth time around?
It's a seamless integration of the 2 storylines. I really loved that. Did you guys catch when they call Hogan the total package when he's coming out?
And now, the total package! The total package! Lex Luger!
Oh, I fucking didn't.
I did not.
Generic Biddle music, play now.
That's what I was hoping. Generic Biddle, or like the ripoff of Generic Biddle from Slammin' Wrestling Hits.
Oh, wow.
More.
I love that. I loved how the event security were all WCW wrestlers that are around the ring, like Knobs and Sags getting a payday.
Yeah, they were.
Also, Harlem Heat, DDP, Steiners were there. Canyon as well. There.
Arn.
Yeah. Give me that money.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Hogan really not being blindsided by this cage match, not politicking about it? they thought that wouldn't be a good scene.
As if he's going to lose anyway.
He made sure Macho went on first, though, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Hogan's the real main event, even though Flair is the actual heel.
Yeah.
And the guy that you should be, taking out. Hogan still went on last.
This was a top 10 Baywatch episode.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Really, really good. So you guys came in on a good one. And
that's a damning indictment as well.
It's tremendous in their lack of tone, lack of ability to tell any sort of realistic story. acting their hearts out with all the cancer stuff. Hogan, Macho Man, Flair, Dungeon of Doom, all of them at their WCW best.
Nice.
Yeah, this was good stuff, and I'm glad that I got to talk about it with you guys and get some perspective from the wrestling end. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to know what the build was for this on WCW television?
Sure.
Because there's kind of... Well, I'll give you three things here. One of them is Nitro, which airs Monday night, same as Baywatch. September 18th, 1995. We see a clip of WCW stars on the set of Baywatch. It's Macho, he's just doing reps and everyone's like, yeah, come on, yeah. And Taskmaster comes in and he bundles out whoever's spotting him. And then he just goes, pocket sand. The Macho, and it starts beating him up. And then WCW wrestlers come and pull him off Macho. And it's like, one of them is Ric Flair, who pulls the Taskmaster off.
Oh my goodness.
And I say, hey, you get out of here, devil. You watch it, devil. Oh, wow. Okay, so you haven't worked out the storyline yet. And 2 months later, November 20th, 95, Taskmaster, he has a promo and he's like, oh, Macho's on an episode of Baywatch and I'm not. And that's why they're feuding. Yeah.
Oh.
There's a brand new episode of Baywatch coming out. Did you get a call to be on that show, Stinger? It was his new best friend, the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
The night of this airing, February 19th, 96, Nitro had... it opened with Hulk Hogan versus Arn Anderson.
Oh, nice.
And Arn Anderson actually won that one. And Macho versus Ric Flair in the main event.
Hmm.
Yeah. Flair was champion and he retained despite Hogan interfering and being all over the screen. Like he only shoos 6 Dungeon of Doom members away and it's like, there we go. Oh, I have to mention that there are 2 other episodes of Baywatch with wrestlers in it. Yeah.
Right.
Actually, Allison's already done this one. It's season 4, episode 4, Blindside with Giant Gonzalez.
I've seen this one. This is the one where he's like playing a game to win a toy for his son or something, right?
There's a lot of creepy stares, yeah.
That is the one where Jorge Gonzalez is the Pelican Man. He carves pelicans, and they have a song specifically for him about how everyone needs a friend, even the Pelican Man.
Everybody needs a friend. Even the Pelican Man.
He wears his stupid suit in that one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has the Giant Gonzalez Yeti nude suit.
Nice.
Yeah.
A circus freak type promoter is keeping him in a cage.
To be fair, he is rattling the cage like a monster, like a dickless Yeti, yeah.
When I was doing that episode, all I could think of was when you guys were, I don't remember which episode this was, but you were talking about Giant Gonzalez. And so, I mean, is he supposed to, be just this Yeti guy? Is it supposed to be a suit? Is it supposed to... What is it? Well, that's the question of the hour, isn't it?
What is the kayfabe?
No one really knows.
It's brilliant.
I think, the suit didn't have any attached fur onto it, you know?
I think they did add fur by the time he got to WWE.
He had a hairy back and shoulders.
I think he had a hairy codpiece.
He had a hairy merkin.
He did. Hairy merkin. To hide his gherkin.
There was also, I know what the other wrestling episode was.
Yes?
That's I feel like the episode was called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner or some other similar name.
Holy shit. It is, yeah.
Look who's popping in on CJ.
So, that's Mom.
Yep. But this visit is no vacation.
Vinny.
Because when she reveals her past, they both could be history on an all-new Baywatch.
Was it Shawn Michaels in it?
It was Shawn Michaels. Shirtless Shawn Michaels with a leather waistcoat.
Ooh.
That one was really good. It was about CJ's mother, and this mobster wants to kill her, and Shawn Michaels is one of his goons.
Yeah.
And, Pamela Anderson's stunt double has quite the duke out on the beach, I believe with Shawn Michaels. It might have been one of the other goons, but I think it was him.
Yeah, there's nothing getting past you. Yeah. He's a terrible actor. Wow. Even for a wrestler. He can't walk, you know?
Was he the one that was also in an episode of Pacific Blue?
No, that's Triple H.
Oh, it's Triple H. Okay.
Yeah.
Where he plays
defender of pedophiles, I think.
Yeah.
Is Sonny in this as well?
So how'd I do?
Perfect. How about me, boss? Perfect as usual.
And he's wearing like a shirt promoting his wrestling stuff.
Yeah, he has a DX shirt, but he's defending benefits.
Oh my god.
Wow. Take what you can get.
The Diddler Defender. Whew.
Yeah.
So basically, Jay, what you're saying is that Baywatch is at its best when there's wrestlers.
Yes, that's the Emmy.
Yes.
It's Emmy bait. Yeah.
Emmy bait. Actually, I just do want to add, at the Bash at the Beach show, Vader cuts a promo and he says, brother, 10 times in the space of about 90 seconds. But then immediately after, Hulk Hogan gets to cut his promo. And do you think he said, fuck you, Vader, I'm going to show you how to, brother? How many times did he say it?
Is brother a verb here?
To brother. He brothered, she brothered, I brother, you brother, we brother, you brother.
I'll say less. I'll say less than 10. 8.
Guys, do you have a guess?
I have no idea.
19 times.
Oh.
I love it.
Not to be outdone by that pleb Vader. Spicy. I will grab it.
We'll do a brother supercut.
Absolutely.
How much, brother? Are you something, brother? Phelan, brother. Brand new car, brother. It's over, brother. Oh, yeah, brother. Hi, brother. Let's coast. Brother, the talking's over, brother. About, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, 452.
Brother Mean Gene, you know we were riding Harley Davidsons, brother, up and down Pacific Coast Highway, brother, all through the straddle of the night, brother. How he lived in the inner city, brother. That's a bunch of brother. We got the lambs led to slaughter, brother, like a backyard barbecue, brother. Plowed in the sand, brother. Waiting, brother, over my head, brother. The nastiest attitude, brother. And after he eats his vitamins, brother, around the WCW, brother. Paste the big brother. Tell him what's gonna go down, brother. You know what I'm saying, brother? He'll turn their face into hamburger meat, brother. What's he gonna do, brother? What you gonna do, big man?
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else you would like to note about Baywatch Bash at the Beach?
Well, if you, whenever you're covering Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, you can give it a tinkle if you're feeling jaunty. I was
sure
this was eye-opening, but it was so different. Oh no, it's amazing. It was great. I love seeing wrestlers outside of wrestling. It's the best. They're the worst.
They are the worst.
They're terrible actors and deserve it. So you can catch more of Allison's Baywatching and movie nights, as well as Phelan at the movies and bootleg zones at phelan.com.
Thank you for the plug.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I just thought I'd shoehorn that in there.
Where can they find your stuff?
Where do we find our stuff, Steve?
At oswreview.com.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
That's it.
It's in
everywhere is there.
Yes. Mostly YouTube.
YouTube, just search OSW.
Yes, and if you search OSW, we're not the Office of Sewage Waste. That is a different company. Or the Oregon Scout Cookies West. That is not us. We are not selling cookies. We do bars, not cookies.
Excellent, excellent.
I think after this, we owe you guys a Coke.
Oh.
So it's a goodbye from Phelan. Wait, this isn't my show. I can't do this. So, Allison, whatever you want.
The muscle memory is kicking in, Jay.
No, you know, I feel you got a good handle on this. Go for it, dude.
Okay. Oh, so it's a goodbye from Phelan.
Peace out, brother.
V1.
Take a boo.
Allison.
See ya.
And myself, Jay Hunter. And remember,
a winner is you.
Next time on Baywatch Nights.